Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. These are 5 things that we learned from the game against Angola in Luanda. So after going down by a lone goal in the second half, Chris Hughton decided that he was going to change things up a little bit. And Kudus, who hasn't had a good time in the game, Chris Hughton decided to sacrifice him for Joseph Pencil. And what he did was, he rather moved Jordan inside to the number 10 role and brought Joseph Pencil to the right wing. As we know, Joseph Pencil can play here and then here as well. And taking Jordan to the number 10 role, this is what happens. The Angolans were at the time trying to press us so high on the pitch that there were times that they had 5-6 players in our third, because at the time they were in control of the game, and having scored, maybe they felt they can still push and then score one more goal to get the cushion for their win. And it went against them when our coach made this substitution, because what it did was that it changed our setup from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-2. Okay, and one interesting thing is that the players that our coach brought in as well were players that were quite pacey. Okay, Joseph Pencil has a lot of speed, and in transition he's very dangerous. Our coach as well changed Kamaldeen and brought Osman Bukari, who also is very dangerous in transition because he has that kind of pace. Okay, so moving in this direction with a 4-4-2 formation is good, because whilst the Angolans are pressing us so high on the pitch, we will have 2 players against their 3 at the back like this. And if our wingers can outpace their lateral defenders, then it means we are going to have 4 players against 3. And if you realize, when the goal happened, this was the situation, because even at that time Osman Bukari made sure that he was as well in the penalty box. Okay, Jordan made a quick 1-2 with Joseph Pencil, and Osman Bukari and Inaki Williams were in the box like this. Osman Bukari realized that Joseph Pencil was going to make a pullback, so he withdrew himself. The defenders were still here. When the ball got to him, he just shot and scored. If you remember, in our preview to the game, I said that if we want to score, we have to have more bodies in the penalty box, and that is what happened. Okay, our coach is very wise, I think, because to think of this means that you are a very good coach. It takes a lot of experience to be able to understand this kind of situations. Why should I play 4-4-2 instead of 4-2-3-1? Your opponents are pressing you so high on the pitch. And one thing too is that this formation is quite familiar for Ghanaians. Actually, this formation is the formation that Ghana has transitioned from to the current 4-2-3-1 that we normally use. The first ever World Cup that we played at the world stage, this was the formation that we were playing with, the 4-4-2. So Jordan, this change, I think we should give a lot of credit to the coach for knowing exactly the kind of player Jordan Ayew is and bringing him inside to help. Number 2. Okay, this was a game that we needed our goalkeeper to also be at his best, because if you are playing against a team that presses you so high on the pitch, there will be instances where your defenders will falter, and that means it's up to the goalkeeper to help. And Atizigi, over the course of these two games, has really proved to Ghanaians that if given the chance and the confidence, he can really do well for the team. We've had issues with Wolacott. Right now he's kind of injured. The third goalkeeper, I don't think is really up to the task at this time. Even in his club side, he has been on the bench for quite a long time. Atizigi is the most consistent goalkeeper that we have in our team right now. So putting up this kind of performances, I think the coach really has seen this. And from all indications, Chris Hughton, I think, is a performance-based coach. That means that if you are doing well, you are playing. So I think we should give a lot of plaudits to Atizigi. He's really proving to us that he can be our number one going forward. This game, when it started, in our preview, we said that the Angolans are going to start very fast because when they came here, Ghana was so slow in transition. And having a new coach means it will take quite some time for us to get used to the coach's philosophy. And this same thing happened again in Luanda, in a sense that your opponents are going to start fast. That means you have to come up with a system that will prevent them from pressing you so high. Okay, if you are having just one player, look at this. If your opponents are attacking you and they still know that you have just one player in their third, they will keep on attacking because they know there is no threat here. Just one person can just handle, the others will just support. And that is what the Angolans were doing. So it was up until the time that our coach realized that he had to use two strikers, that the Angolans started drawing back. And before they realized, we have already equalized. Okay, so I think going forward, we have to be looking at these kind of things, because Ghana is not a team that we can't play 4-4-2. In Africa, we can play 4-4-2 because most of the teams that will be coming up against, already they are scared of us. So we have to use that knowledge and then play a system that we can put more pressure on them, not the other way around where we'll be under so much pressure and then they will score us before we try to change the game and then equalize. We have to put more pressure on them. They should rather be chasing us, not we coming back from behind to equalize or to score and then get a winner. We have to score first before they score, and that means we rather should put them under pressure. Okay, number 4. Okay, so in the second half, when we were down by a goal to 0, Chris Hughton decided that he would change Kudus and bring in Joseph Paintel, who came to the right wing for Jordan to push inside, and then he took out Sulemana and brought in Osman Bukari. And also Inaki Williams came in for Antoine Semenyo. And the most important substitution, we've been talking about this player for quite a long time since we started these kind of tactical discussions. Ashimeru, I think, is the only progressive midfielder that we have in our team. Okay, when we have a player like him, it means that a player like Jordan can push so high up and he will still be around to tackle, to get the ball and move. Okay, so when Ashimeru came, it changed the game totally. It brought the control rather to Ghana. Ghana started dictating the pace of the game. And that was the reason why we had that goal. If you realize, when we had the goal, it was a transitional goal. The Angolans were so high up the pitch that they had so few players defending, and Jordan and Inaki being at the back like this meant that if we can transition very fast, it will mean they won't have enough time to organize themselves, and that was what caused the goal. Okay, Ashimeru coming in was a perfect example of a masterclass kind of substitution. Chris Hilton did his substitutions perfectly. Like we said, in the previous game that we played in Ghana, he realized Inaki wasn't so effective. He brought in Semenyo, and Semenyo came in and scored. And this time, the substitutions were so perfect that it was the substitutes again that made that goal. Okay, number 5. Okay, so Ghana were missing a lot of key players in this game, to a point that people started panicking, because already you are missing your main captain. Dede is not around, and then Pate is also injured. Salisu is not around. Jiku is also injured, and then Odoi is also not around. So people were quite down going into this game. But from what we saw, we can confidently now say that even if one player is not around, the team can still play now, because right now there are a lot of competition in the team. For instance, the goalkeeping position. Walcott can no more say that the position is his, because Atisigi has put in an impressive performance. Kingsley didn't do that bad, just that we can use only one game to assess him now. And then Ashimeru also brought on strong points in the game when he also came on. I think it was in the 70 something minutes. And then Kudus, right now we can also say that if Kudus is not around, Jordan can also take that position. And already Naki, we know Semenyo is giving him some tight competition. So this kind of competition, I feel is a positive one for the team going forward, because it's going to help us a lot. If you have a team that, remember when we were going for the AFCON, we had a team that when some players are not around, we just felt so commonplace. Algeria just battered us 3-0 heading up to the World Cup, and it was like we had no kind of confidence in our substitutes, which was very bad. So having a team like this, having a squad like this, I think Ghana has a really bright future, and they have to make sure that this crop of players are maintained for a long while, so that we can really win something going forward. So thank you very much for joining me. Kindly like, comment, and then please subscribe so that we can bring you more content. Thank you.